Lately, I've been completely obsessed with red light therapy because the science behind it is honestly insane. It's full-on futuristic skincare that is super effective and accessible. We're talking acne cleared when nothing else worked, wound healing faster than ever. It boosted collagen, improved sleep, hormonal balance, better mood, and muscle recovery. It's used for medical purposes, and the best part is you don't need to drop $400 on a fancy mask. This is one of the newest, most efficiency-proved health and beauty tools I've ever come across, and today I'm breaking it all down for you. Hi, it's Nova, and you're listening to the Supernova Shift podcast. Today we're going to be talking about red light therapy, and today's episode chapters are arranged with why red light therapy is blowing up, what is red light therapy exactly, so I'm going to explain everything, then a zoom on science-backed medical benefits, a zoom on beauty and anti-aging benefits, how to use red light therapy at home without blowing up your bank account, and the risks and contradictions, is it safe, how to use it safely, and my personal results. Let's get started right away. Why wait? The first thing that I want to talk about is why red light therapy is blowing up. The reason why RLT is blowing up right now is partly because studies are progressively discovering how efficient it actually is and how insane the benefits are. I'm not going to summarize a study for each benefits because there are way too much. Usually I have several studies and I make a little summary of how it was made, etc. Can't do that here, it's going to be way too long. So just know that everything, all the benefits are based on scientific studies that you can freely check on Google Scholar. There are hundreds, literally hundreds. So red light therapy was used to treat child myopia. It increased collagen synthesis, promoted wound healing through mechanisms like nitric oxide release and activation of TGF-beta signaling, and supported skin repair, acne reduction, sunburn healing, and wrinkle improvement by stimulating cellular repair and reducing inflammation. Like we'll see later, it basically stimulates your mitochondria to produce more energy. And a study showed that it improved sleep, mood, and decreased inflammatory markers. That study was only done in winter though, because they've also done studies on how it is used to cure seasonal depression. And full spectrum light therapy, so there it's not just red light, it's bright white, blue, and green light that is commonly used to manage seasonal depression and melatonin regulation. Further investigation is needed, but there is hope for eating disorders as well. So what exactly is red light therapy, also called RLT? Red light therapy is also called photobiomodulation, and it is a treatment that uses low-level wavelengths of red or near-infrared light to stimulate your cells. But it's not heat or UV, it's light that your body can actually absorb and use for healing. If you remember your middle school biology classes, your cells have little powerhouses called mitochondria who produce energy, among other things. And when red or near-infrared light hits them, it literally helps them produce more energy, like charging a phone battery. So by boosting your mitochondrial function, you'll get faster repair, better function, and less inflammation. It's like your body suddenly has more resources to heal and balance and ultimately glow because it actually has insanely efficient results on skin. So there's red light and near-infrared light. The difference is basically that red light has a smaller wavelength than near-infrared and works on skin level issues like acne, wrinkles, scars, dullness, etc. While near-infrared goes deeper because of its wider wavelength, and it goes deeper to help joints, muscles, even brain fog, inflammation. Now we're going to zoom a little bit on the science science-backed. Of course, everything is science-backed. But specifically the medical benefits, how it's used medically. It is used for wound healing. You can do it at home by, putting it on your joints or your wounds and stuff. But it's also used in hospitals because studies show that red light therapy speeds up skin repair by boosting collagen, blood flow, and cell turnover. So it's been used on burn victims, post-surgical wounds, and diabetic ulcers with faster recovery and less scarring. And that's because it helps regenerate epithelial tissue, which is basically the stuff that your skin is made of. There's also the pain relief side, because RLT can reduce both acute and chronic pain, including joint pain, arthritis, back pain, and even nerve pain. So it works by lowering inflammation, increasing your circulation, and triggering natural pain relief pathways in your body. It's been used by physical therapists and pro athletes for recovery. And that links perfectly in the next one when I said pro athletes, because it's used for muscle recovery by pro athletes as well, because RLT helps repair micro tears on your muscles after a workout. That happens every time you work out, you get micro tears on your muscles. And that helps, well, first of all, reduce delayed onset muscle soreness, which is basically, when your muscles are sore, and support muscle growth by increasing ATP production. So ATP is basically adenosine triphosphate, which provides the energy required for muscle contraction, and it supports your muscle growth. So the translation of all this is basically that your muscles recover faster and you can train harder with less downtime. You won't be as sore. You'll get, faster muscle growth. You'll repair your muscles faster. There's also thyroid function, because there are incredible findings on how RLT improves symptoms in people with hypothyroidism, especially Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune disease with horrible effects. The only reason why I know the existence of this disease is because this woman, Catherine Morgan, a ballet dancer, I've talked about her in my YouTubers, best YouTubers for self-growth in 2025 episode. She's in my ballet chapter, where I talk about her YouTube channel being amazing for workouts and stuff like that. She had to leave. I don't remember exactly which ballet company. I don't remember if it was New York City Ballet. I don't want to say something that's wrong, but she had to stop dancing because she had this disease. Red light actually helps normalize thyroid stimulating hormone levels, reducing inflammation and improving energy and mood. Because I think one of the symptoms was, well, first of all, hair loss, but you're also very tired. So that explains why, she couldn't dance anymore. There's also weight gain as another symptom. But this is one of the most promising uses that's still flying under the radar. The fifth medical use is inflammation reduction, because almost every chronic condition from, acne to Alzheimer's disease have one thing in common, which is inflammation. And red light helps calm your immune response, improve cellular communication, and lower systemic inflammation naturally. So less inflammation means less pain, better skin, improved mood, and even longevity. That's why some people buy these full body panels so that you can do red light on your entire body. There's a new study apparently that came out on how it directly affects your organs. It goes all the way to your organs and has benefits on that. But it just came out, and I haven't even read that study. But the full body panels cost a lot more, obviously. Now we're going to zoom a bit more on the beauty and anti-aging benefits, because there are a lot, especially when it comes to skin. Well, yeah, basically all of the benefits are related to skin. But the first one is that it boosts your collagen production, because red and near infrared wavelengths stimulate fibroblasts, which are the cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin. So this means, of course, fewer lines and wrinkles, improved skin fairness, and more glow without any products or injections. That's, even worse. But I think buying a red light panel is probably cheaper than a bazillion injections, products, and facials, because when you buy it at first, you might think wow, that's expensive. I just wasted my money. But it's honestly so effective that, in the long run, on the long term, it's going to be cheaper. Clinical studies usually show results and visible improvements in just 4 to 12 weeks of consistent use. 4 to 12 weeks, that might sound like a lot, but honestly, it's the same with skincare. Like, you have to use it for at least 2 months because your skin's cell repair or like cell turnover is 1 month, your cycle of your skin. So you need at least 2 months to see results when you use skincare. So I feel like it's normal that it's the same with red light therapy. But when you actually do get results, the results are very visible. One of the benefits that I was really interested in was reduced acne and breakouts, because it actually works for acne, because there's a lot of products that don't work. I know that I was using salicylic acid at a high concentration at some points, and it actually didn't work. Like, I stopped using it after a year of using it. I stopped, and I realized that there wasn't a difference in my acne if I was using it or if I wasn't using it. So I started using more like calming, hydrating products. But RLT helps clear acne by reducing inflammation, killing acne-causing bacteria, and healing the skin without irritating it like some topical products. And it actually has an effect on your cells every time you use it. And it's often used when topical products fail. And there are a lot of reviews of people where nothing worked, and their dermatologist proposed the RLT, and acne cleared up to usually 95% after really consistent use. So that's why I've been trying to be a lot more consistent with my red light, because I have one of those small panels, which is cheaper, but it's also not as convenient. So I sometimes skip it or I don't think about it, but now I'm like really motivated because of all these benefits. It also improves your skin elasticity and tone, your overall skin beauty, I would say, because beyond collagen, red light improves microcirculation, which brings more oxygen and nutrients to the skin. So that means you'll have a more even tone, a better texture, and less dullness. And it's especially effective when paired with gentle hydrating skincare products. You see a lot of people on internet, usually on the internet or on YouTube, when they use that red light, they usually use like really hydrating products afterwards. They don't use harsh acids and exfoliants. And we'll see that later when I explain how you can use red light. It's not recommended to use harsh acids right after doing it. The fourth thing is stimulating hair growth, because low-level laser therapy, LLT, a form of red light therapy, is FDA cleared for treating androgenic alopecia, aka hair baldness in men and women. The FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. A lot of people might know that, but I don't, because I'm not American. I'm guessing it's American. And the way it works is it reawakens dormant hair follicles, increases your hair thickness and density, and improves scalp health. Studies show noticeable results within 3 to 6 months. The thing is, if you want to use it on your scalp, you might want one of those helmets, because if you have one of those little panels like I have, like that you can hold in your hand, you'll have to like hold it on your head. It doesn't really work. The fifth one is reduced cellulite and improved lymphatic flow, because red light can help tighten the appearance of skin by increasing circulation and improving lymphatic drainage, which reduces fluid buildup and fat cell visibility. And I know that, cellulite, it's called cellulite on, for example, women's skin, especially around the bum area. You probably know what I'm talking about. When the skin looks a little weird, like you can see that there's fat cells there, which is totally normal, of course, everyone has that. It's called cellulite, but cellulite, it's not the real term apparently. I've heard that because cellulite is actually, some part of your heart, or like heart tissues or something like that. So it's not the actual term, but I'm going to use this term for reference because most people think of it as that. And so this is often combined with massage, gua sha for even better results. The next chapter is actually the interesting one, how to use red light therapy at home, how you can actually get started, the practical steps and everything. The first step is to really choose your device wisely. There are 3 common types for home use. LED panels, which are these big panels that are best for full body or face. They're really powerful, really effective, but obviously, you probably guessed that, they are more expensive. You have to spend quite a lot of money on those. There's face masks, which are really popular, and helmets for hair growth. They're hands-free and they're great for targeted beauty use. And I think they're also really convenient because you can do something at the same time. Like you can maybe meditate or do something else, like journal maybe. I don't know if it's possible to journal, but at least you can meditate or something like that. And I think it's easier to remember because you just put it on your face and then you can walk, or, it's pretty convenient because I have one of those handheld little panels. Sometimes also under the form of wands, which is the 3rd type. They're more budget friendly for small areas like joints or acne spots. It's the one I use, and I put it on like one cheek and then I have to switch for the other cheek with the forehead if I want to do that. And it's a bit less convenient, but it is cheaper. So it's really important to look for medical grade devices with wavelengths between 630 and 660 nm, which stands for nanometers. It's used to measure wavelength in red light, or infrared light, and 810 to 850 nanometers, which for near infrared, because you know the difference now between the two. And now, how long to use it? That is quite impossible to say because there are general guidelines, but it really depends on the device that you have. The device that you have really changes everything because there's different guidelines for every single device because they're all built differently. They probably all have slightly different wavelengths. So for beauty like face, acne, and anti-aging, it's recommended from 10 to 20 minutes. On my device, I like to do it 5 to 8 minutes per cheek. But, consistency is more important than the duration. You need to do it very consistently to get results. That is the only thing. It's super efficient. You just have to be consistent to see results. I mean, it's the same with like exercise. It's the one thing that you should do to be super healthy and fit and live longer and just everything, but you have to do it consistently. For muscle recovery and joint pain, I saw 15 to 30 minutes. 30 minutes seemed like a bit much, but it really depends what device it is again. For hair regrowth, it said 10 to 15 minutes. And for wound healing and inflammation, 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the severity. I only know what I'm talking about for face, acne and stuff like that, because I would use it only for my face. I never used it for hair growth, muscle recovery, or wound healing, because my problem was acne. Now, the 3rd step is how close should you place the device? That plays a really important role because, like we're going to see in the chapter about safety, if you put it too close or too far away, it won't work. Too close, it might damage your skin. So it's important to put it again, depends on your device, but about 5 to 15 centimeters, 2 to 6 inches away from the skin is ideal. I usually use my middle finger because it's the longest finger, and I put it away I measure it that way. Seems weird, but it works. Don't wear any products on your face while you're doing it because you don't know if it's going to interfere, if the product and what the ingredients that are in there is going to interfere with the light. And for scalp or deeper tissues, near infrared, so NIR, can penetrate deeper than red light. I don't know if it's more expensive. If it's more effective, I'm guessing it's more expensive. But red light is mostly absorbed by the skin, while near infrared penetrates muscles and even bones. So how often should you use it? Start slow, because if you've never used it before, you could do it 3 times a week for 2 weeks and then increase gradually. And then once you get used to it, if you don't have any problems with it, you can gradually increase to daily for the amount that is recommended by, your, depending on your device or what your medical practitioner said. But RLT is subtle at first. The results will stack over weeks, not days, and you will get amazing results. Like, honestly, if you can see people on the internet who have had amazing results, you just have to do it consistently for at least like 2 months, I would say. Before you do it, I would recommend cleaning your skin gently, and again, not applying any products to be safe so that it doesn't interfere with the light. And then after, you can moisturize and avoid harsh treatments like strong exfoliants or acids. And once you've done your red light, if you notice that your skin looks bad, I don't know, I have not heard anyone else say this, but I know that it happens to me when I finish my red light. My skin always looks weird. It looks, if I have scars, they look even more apparent. If I have pimples, they look way more apparent. It looks kind of like grayish. I don't know why, but then it looks so good afterwards. Like, I have to wait a bit and then my skin looks better. So I'm guessing it's the light interfering with my skin in a positive way, I'm hoping. Now, one of the last chapters, it is the last chapter, how to use it safely, the risks and contradictions. There aren't any contradictions, but there are some risks, of course, like overexposure. It is one of the dangers of red light. Excessive use can lead to skin irritation or burns. It's vital to adhere to the recommended treatment times and distances according to your device. And there's also ineffective devices because not all RLT devices are created equally. Some bad quality products might fail to emit the correct wavelengths or intensities needed for therapeutic effects. So buying high quality and researching the right products is vital. You can't just buy the first product that you see or like the cheapest product. No, it's the same for probiotics. If you've listened to my gut health episode, I was talking about probiotics. Are they worth buying them in supplementation form, where I explored various studies. And again, there were not a lot of downsides. The only downside was if you use bad quality ones that might carry like antibiotic resistance genes and stuff like that, it's important to just choose really good quality. When it comes to eye sensitivity, direct exposure to the red light may cause eye discomfort. Obviously, if you stare at light, it hurts your eyes. So wear some kind of eye mask if it hurts your eyes, to protect them. When I use the panel and put it on my cheek, it usually doesn't hurt my eyes because it's on the side. But also, if you have photosensitivity or are on certain medications or are pregnant, you have to consult beforehand and be really careful. When it comes to my personal results and experience, I've tried it for my acne, not as consistently recently as I would have liked, but I'm getting back into it because at some point as a tween, so a long time ago, I did it very consistently for a few months, and all my skin problems disappeared after weeks of consistent use because I started to get my first teen skin problems, and it disappeared. But then I stopped, of course, because I was lazy. But now I'm trying to do it more consistently because I've seen all the results. This brings us to the end. You are listening to the Supernova Shift podcast. I'm Nova, and you can check out my Instagram, where I post recipe inspiration, lifestyle, motivational quotes, lots of nice things on there. You can spread the love by sharing this episode with a friend or family member, and you can DM or tag me on Instagram. And remember that the podcast is also available on YouTube. The amazing music is from Freesound Music. You can also check them out on YouTube. I'll see you next Monday at the same time for a brand new episode.